It's February 1st, 2022. So Anton is out of school. In English or in American, it's Anthony. He's off from school today, so I had to renew a book for him, and we go there, and now they call it on the USA calendar, they call it a new moon, but in the PS31Q calls it Lunar New Year. They give you a brown bag. I don't know the symbol, but it says Queen's Public Library, and then it says, "We speak your language." I highly doubt that. They gave my son a gift, which I thought was very nice. By the way, the two people that I spoke with inside the library were very gracious, very kind, very patient with he and I and our not knowing of their public service or their public area that they use as a library that gets confusing when they call it the Queen's Library, because it is not built for me. And it is not built for my kind. It is a public library, but not the kind with 22-foot ceilings either. So they gave this journal, and she said it's a new thing. I guess it's a new thing, new trend. It's called Reckit, WRECKIT. Oh, like Reckit journal. I've never even heard of that before. She says, "Oh, it's a new thing." And then they had a sample to show that they cut things out and then they put things in, but it has nothing in it. So you put your own thoughts in it. And it has the symbol, but I don't know what the symbol comes from. And the kind of books that you get for the children, silly books. They're just, there's no important pearls of wisdom or anything in these books. And what was interesting was now when I was young, in the library that I was used to, the school had one, and they were they were even more gracious and kind than this public one, the school library in Lloyd Harbor, small library, but at the Lloyd Harbor Elementary Schoolhouse, very small, again, mild like books, but out there. I don't remember the encyclopedias having a spine that had photos or artwork on it. The Queen's Library that I just went to, they lined the books up in chapters, like, I don't know the name. They're sections of a collection of books. But each one, they had eagles, they had elephants, a mountain, and some other whatever. The librarian, though, who was seated right in front, Antonucci wanted to look at it, which is my cat Scratch. So I take one out, but I didn't realize, because I don't really use encyclopedias. I grabbed the last one, which is apparently an index. But I wanted to show him what the cover looked like. The entire feel of the library is very strange. I used to go there with my grandfather, but my grandfather was like, It's hard to describe him. There's not many humans like him. He was quiet, and he was like, I'm glad to see you. And I was just a glad to be his granddaughter kind of a girl that just followed in his shadow, and he just knew things. And he knew if he didn't know, he'd figure it out. And then he'd let me know. And I miss that. Because I walk in there and I look around, nothing looks familiar. And in fact, some of the books on the front cover and on the spine, they don't even have alphabet characteristics. They have some other form of, I don't know if it's Mandarin, if it's Korean. Again, the symbols, I don't know how to decipher the artwork and whose artwork belongs to what alphabet equivalent in order to give them proper credit. Even on the signs outside on the streets, it's confusing. So we, Anthony and we went to the public library. Then Lois needed something, so we went for him to the drugstore, which is the CVS pharmacy, to pick up whatever pills Lou needs and some vitamins. And we go there. Now, I took a sample of whatever he needed to get an extra one of. The cashier at the pharmacy is non-familial and was just one of those really nasty people. Just attitude, and just, I asked her if she could throw out the plastic bottle. She wouldn't throw out the plastic bottle. There's a garbage right behind her. And then it was buy one, get one free. Again, it's just the attitude is so... And then I was standing in line and she took somebody in front of me. And I look at my son and I'm just like, oh. It is really distasteful and unpleasant because, I mean, if I look at the parlay overlay that I do on the television, it is like the cream of the crop. Like, they're their cheerleaders, like their best behavior, like uber professional talent. Like, we are representing the family. I don't care, across the board. That's what I see represented usually on the on the news programs for the rabbit ear. Like, they pick their friendly and receptive type of member for their team. In real life, I have run into some of their family members across the board, doesn't matter what ID, I can't identify at the moment, unbeknownst to me. I've seen there have been confrontations, not because I'm confrontational, just walking up to the counter, they just bring with them to work and to the public these attitudes of like, I don't want you here, like, to me. And I'm like, trust me, I don't want to be here either. But here we are, and you provide a service, and I'm trapped here. So, making the best of it. So there is a very big difference between what's seen on TV, like an infomercial of like the greatest people and talent make it to the big screen. Right, got that, okay. And then might be misleading for the day-to-day out and abouts because they don't necessarily perform as well in real life as the representatives on TV that are all polished. So I just want to make that determination so everybody understands that where I'm coming from, like, I really make an effort to get through and to not cause day-to-day trouble or whatever. But it is turning on a dime into a really icky situation. I had a caller today. I don't normally get phone calls, but somebody let through a phone call from a 347 number. And it sounded It was English. I could understand the spoken sounds sounded English, but asking for my father, or asked about a father, and so I was confused because it said something about Han, and I said, I think you have the wrong number. And then that was it. We hung up because I was not. I mean, again, I wasn't. I don't know what that represented or what that meant or who that could have been, because there's no announcement. There's no planning on my part. It's like I walk into the day and disaster unfolds. And then I just keep waiting for the next day. So I mean, I'm at a loss. But the distinction I really wanted to make is that I think somewhere in like the York side, I've heard one of the UK speakers, journalists, mention something of a Queen's Library. I don't know what that means. I don't. I've heard it in passing. I want them to know I have one of those too, but mine, I'm pretty sure, looks nothing like yours at the moment. It's dilapidated. It's like the pauper's version of a shack with books in it, but not. And it doesn't have not a shack like with a dirt floor. I mean, it's perhaps like a basic schoolhouse type establishment, not very large enough though. But again, the whole process is mixed with multilingual, but not of my familial lingual. Like, there's no French, there's no German, I don't see Russian or Greek. I see Spanish, some form of Arabian Peninsula, and then the current 26-letter alphabet I use. So that gets really confusing on how did that come about. But here we are. And then in front of it, it has the unity flag that I was told to pledge allegiance to in the red, white, and blue with the stars. Somebody sent charity socks, which are blue stars. It's one of the foreign wars. I just don't know which one. But again, I didn't have socks, and then they just miraculously appeared in the mail, which was nice. But Linda sent a donation, so it wasn't whatever. And I don't know who's asking and who's sending and who's expecting. So it's Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxy is broken, and it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. Star 1978. Star 8378.